Hi everyone, this is Wendy. I'm on to do the very first mixed media challenge for Aunty Vera land this month for January. So there's like a little bit of a change in Aunty Vera land this year. We're trying to put out a few challenges there. Cell will be doing more the junk journal side of challenges. I'll still be participating in that too, because I do like that. You know, I like a variety of different crafts. So I'm going to be doing the monthly mixed media, and I'm going to use 7 prompts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just make sure. Okay, so I've pulled these prompts out, and they are collage text, drop ink or watered down paint onto a page and blow through a straw, use Punchinella, add a flower, finger paint, doodle a border, add a quote that makes you happy. And a little bit different, like the main colour for January is going to be purple. Now you don't have to do a whole page in purple. You can have other colours and have purple as a pop of colour on your page. And I'll just go through. So collage text, you can just rip some pages out of an old storybook or textbook or something. I'm going to use, I've got this old Frankie that I picked up from my newsagents for $3, and I'm going to use some text out of this. So I'm just going to rip that out. I had my ruler there to save my page, so I didn't have to go and find it again. Okay, so that's going to be my text there. And the paints I'm going to be using, I've got the Dina Wakley Mixed Media. This is Eggplant, but I've also got a Semco Lavender, mainly Dina Wakley paints. I've got a pink, I've got a bright pink magenta, and then I've got a softer pink carnation that I thought I might like to add to my page. And I've also got a metallic purple. So like, just use what you've got. You can pick up paints pretty cheaply. These Dina Wakley ones I did get from Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. But if you're just starting out, you know, you might just have pick up just a $2 paint or something from your cheap shop. Okay, now Punchinella, for people that don't know what Punchinella is, this is Punchinella. It is actually the waste part of the sequins. Okay, so they punch all the sequins out, and you're left with that. It's just like a thin bit of metal that's got little holes everywhere in it. But if you don't have Punchinella, you might have a stencil that has got little circles on it. So that's one of my stencils there. This is another little stencil I think I picked up from a cheap shop. It's got sort of circles, but you can still use that. Then also this one here on this side, this is just a piece of the non-slip mat, and I've been using this for quite a while in my art, and like one side has got like a little dots on it, and then the other side looks like it's, you know, just the little holes like the Punchinella. But then failing that, this was one of my very first stencils that I ever made, and all it is a bit of plastic, and I have just gone and punched holes in it with one of these hole punches. Not this size, this one's a small circle, but with my other you know, I've just gone and punched holes in it, so that even looks like Punchinella as well. So they're just a few things that you can use if you don't have it, okay? So with your add a flower, you can cut a flower out of a magazine, you can put a real flower down, you can make a flower, a paper flower, or you could just paint a flower onto your page. The finger painting, oh, that's pretty explanatory in itself. I do like to finger paint occasionally. I know a lot of people don't like getting paint on their fingers, but I'm not one of those. I love it. Glue, on the other hand, different story with me. Doodle a border, and then just any quote that makes you happy. Okay, so they're the prompts. I might just leave those over there. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to be using my art journal from last year, and because I really want to finish it, and I've got quite a few pages left in. But if you haven't got an art journal, you can just use a piece of cardboard, a piece of paper. I would suggest that it's got a little bit of weight to it. Otherwise you might have to use, you know, gesso on your page just to strengthen it up. And gesso is just like a primer for your page. You know, like how they prime walls sometimes and then they put the proper coat on top of them. It's just similar to that. Alright, or you could do a smaller, you could do a 6x4 card with the prompts. You could do an ATC with the prompts. You know, just whatever you've got on hand and whatever you feel comfortable with doing. It's a no stress thing doing mixed media. Really, it's no stress. Everybody has got different styles and different ways of doing things, but it's supposed to be enjoyable, and that's the main thing. You've got to look on it as fun, and not something that's going to, if it's going to stress you out, just don't do it. That's my motto anyway. Okay, so the first prompt here, I'm going to try and run down in order. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. Okay, but we want to get like a bit of the background down. So I'm going to look at my prompts and say, okay, I can use Collage Text for background. I could use finger paint for background, and drop ink or watered down paint onto a page and blow through a straw. I can use that for background. So like my focal point, I suppose, looking at this would be add a flower, and then add a quote that makes you happy, and then lastly I doodle a border around it. Okay, so that's my method. And in the background, and the colours like purple, but you can bring in other colours. You can bring in black or white, you can bring in yellow, you could bring in a blue, you know, whatever makes you happy, whatever you enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start by collaging down some text paper. So I'm just going to rip around because I don't want all those white bits on it, really. I just want the text. Okay, and I am going to lay that on my page. Now my glue that I use, sorry I knocked the camera, is I use matte deco glue. This is a Crafter's Corner, and I just picked that up for a couple of dollars at one of my cheapo shops. But you could use a glue stick, you could use some wet glue. I wouldn't consider using glitter glue on this because it's special and it's dear, but you can use a tacky glue or something like that. Okay, and you will need a paintbrush for your glue and your water. This is the first time I've actually not had a water bottle in here. So I'll just tip a bit of this in here for my brushes. Okay, alright, so let's get started. So I'm just going to put some glue down and put my text paper down. So just like that. Press it down. And I'll do this side too. Oops, that was a good trick, Wendy. Let's put glue everywhere. Okay. Right, and I'll put that one down there. So I'm going to let this dry now. Just press that down. And then I'm going to come back, once that's dry underneath the glue, I'm actually going to come back and rip a little bit of this off, okay, just for something different. I just feel like for doing something different, but you know, it's up to you, it's up to what you feel comfortable with doing. So you know, you could rip this up smaller and put it in different places around your page and just leave it on there, and then start painting over and everything like that. Okay, alright, so I shall be back in a second, guys. Okay, I think that is dry enough. So what I'm going to do now, just for something different, I'm just going to rip this up a bit. And just make it, I might not be able to get much up because I have given it a good hit with the glue, but I'm just going to rip it a little bit. So for one, it will put an added bit of texture on my background. Okay, and yeah, that'll do. That's all I can get up. I really glued that too well. I thought I'd leave some of the sides up here. Here we go. A bit of the side. So that I could easily get to that. But that's okay. Alright, happy with that so far. So now we've got use Punchinella or drop ink or watered down paint on page. So what I might do first is actually use some Punchinella. So I've got my Punchinella here and I just use it with a sponge. Okay, so here I am going to maybe use just a light pink. Okay, and I'll put some dark pink. Oops. Oh, I've got a little crusty on there. We've got that, and I've also got just a white, and I'll put a little bit on that there. I'm just using a lid off an old plastic container. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just use the Punchinella. I normally cut that in half because I don't like wasting a lot of that. My sponges, sometimes they're a bit hard to come by. Okay, so I'm just going to dab in my paint and just dab down on my page. And I'm not going to completely cover my page up. I am going to leave like a little bit of white space. You know, if you feel like doing it all over your page, that would be fine too. So I'm just kind of like mixing this up. And do a little bit over here. Okay. Alright, I'm happy with that. We've got that all dry. So, Collage Text, use Punchinella. And the next one I'm going to do is the drop ink or watered down paint on your page and then blow through a straw. So I've got a straw here, and for this one I'm going to use purple. Bring my purple in, and I might use the darker one. So I'm just going to water down some of this purple. Okay. Now for the paint for you to blow it through a straw, it does need to be rather runny. Okay. So it just says drop it onto your page. Just thinking, is that enough to just drop on? No, a little bit more water, I think. Okay, so that's getting really runny now, which is good. So I'm just going to tip that up and drop it onto my page, just in a few spots. Okay, and grab my straw and just start blowing, I think. I'm actually trying to keep my head out of shot, so you have to excuse me if my head does go in shot. So that purple, when I watered it down, has actually come out a lot redder in colour. So I might just grab a lighter one. This is the lavender. Oops, I better shake that first, otherwise yuck, yuck, yuck. I haven't used these paints for a while. Okay, let's try again. Right. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this one. I know this one's runny as it is, but oh, and that's way too much water, Wendy. I wonder why my little spray bottle's not working. Okay. Alright, so I'll clean that brush and let's just mix this one around. I'm trying to keep it away from that other colour I've just put on there. Okay, let's just drop this one on. Oops. I know what I can do. I can just mop up that colour. Right, I'm just going to put that on there just to... Okay, now I can tip this on here. Okay. Okay, so we've dropped that one on there. And I'll grab my straw again and blow. bit more water just down here somewhere. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with that, and besides that I'm out of breath. Alright, so we've got that. I'm going to dry that up now, guys. Oh, that looks lovely. Look at that. I didn't realise that, but I actually have some little cells in that paint there that I first put down. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so so we've dropped some watered down paint onto the page and blew through a straw, which was just so fun. Now we've got add a flower, finger paint, doodle a border and add a quote. Okay, and we've used purple. Alright, so I've got that dry. Well, dry enough anyway. We've got add a flower and finger paint. So I'm going to try and finger paint a flower. I'm just going to use some white paint. Alright, so my finger, dip it in my paint, and let me think. I want it kind of, I don't know, funky looking somehow, so I'm just going to bring that down like that. Alright, so we've got that, and I might grab a green paint. I'll grab the olive. Whoops, drop. Okay, just put a bit of that there and dip the finger again. I have wiped it on my rag, so just going to drag that down. Let's leaf. Nice big. It sort of looks like a tulip, doesn't it? Sort of. Okay, alright, I'm going to dry that up, guys. And I've also just grabbed a Dina Wakley Ocean because the white is showing up the background too much, so I'm going to add some blue with my finger painting. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to try and just go in the center of that. Okay, that's fine, I can handle that. Alright, let's try that. I got my heat tool a little bit too close to that and the paint started bubbling, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to grab a pencil now. Where is my pencil? There. And I'm just going to roughly go around my flower, just in a pencil. Okay, not sure if that blue's dry yet. No, it's not, so I'll just leave that for the time being. Squiggles. Okay, so I've added a flower and I've done some finger painting, so now all I've got left is doodle a border and add a quote that makes you happy. Okay, so with my doodling a border, you can really use anything that you want. This here is just a gel ink pen, so I'm just going to do a squiggly border around my page. And look, it doesn't have to be neat, because look, my hand shakes all the time, so it's a bit hard for me to actually try and draw a straight line without a ruler. Now I've got one doodled border there, so with this I'm going to go around again. Okay, and I'm trying to not go over the same line as what I did the first time, and I'll show you why. I have got a couple of little gaps in my border here, so what I'm going to do is actually just go and colour those gaps in a bit. Okay, just with my pen, with my gel pen. Yeah. Now you do have to let these gel pens dry. Oh, and you put your other arm in the paint. Let me just move that out of the road. Okay, there. As I was saying, you do have to let them dry, otherwise they will smudge. Okay, and like, I'm not even really colouring them in properly, I'm just making sure that I've got the majority of the white space between the lines coloured in. Okay, so it just gives it a really interesting, a quirky, interesting effect. But like, you don't have to do this as your border. You can just have like one plain line doodled around your border, or you could paint your border on and then, you know, add some dots or something like that to it. It's really just personal preference what you would like to do, but just have fun. See, I even had fun just putting my hand in the paint there. But I'm just trying to give you different ideas for you to do yours. I'm just going to turn my book around because it's easier to get to up there, up on this side. So that's my doodled border, guys. Oh, it looks pretty cool. While I've got this in my hand, I might actually just put a few lines over this too. And like adding just a few little squiggly lines around your work, it just shows that it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my goodness, have I been in shot? It's the first time I've looked up at the camera. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to make you happy, and that has made me happy so far. I'm really loving these cells in that paint there. I really do. Okay. Okay, so now I have doodled a border and add a quote that makes you happy. Let me have a think. There's quite a few quotes. Yeah. So your quote that makes you happy, you can glue one down. It can be from a magazine, it can be from something else. You could just write it down. You can just write it up here somewhere or write it down here, which I think I might do. My handwriting is not that good, guys, but I'm going to have a go. I was thinking I might use a black marker, a black paint pen. But then, yeah, why not? Let's just go with the pen, you know. Okay, so I'm just going to write relax and enjoy the process, okay? Because that makes me happy. Okay, so that's my quote, guys. Relax and enjoy the process. Okay. And that's my page done, isn't it? Yay! Okay, I just added just a few little white highlights around that. And I do want to add some here too. This, the pen I'm using here is a Signo, a white Signo. It's a Mitsubishi pencil. It says it's from Mitsubishi Pencil Co. Limited. And if you're interested, I actually get mine from Officeworks up in Burleigh, up in Queensland. I'm not sure where else you can get them from, but I just like them. They draw over paint as long as the paint is dry, which I didn't think it was there, but okay. But yeah, it just makes a nice highlighter pen. Okay. Alright, well that's it, guys. That is January monthly mixed media challenge 2022 for Aunty Vera Land. That's our first one. Yay! So I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I really did. Thank you. I think that looks pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure you'll find, you know, the process really easy. Like I said, if you haven't got a specific thing, I think I gave you a few different items you could use for Punchinella. Okay, there's the Punchinella there. And the colour for each month is just so that you can have, like, you can do your whole page in the one colour and then add other colours on top, whatever you've got. I done the purple, so, you know, I've also got pink in there. I've got a blue flower. I have got a light purple, not the dark purple. And this other one turned out more to be like a maroon on my page, which, you know, it's okay. It actually, the eggplant looks purple, but when I watered it down, it lost a bit of its pigment, I think. My fault. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's our first monthly mixed media challenge for Aunty Vera Land. So hopefully you can, you know, pop over, join Aunty Vera Land, and see what other challenges are going, because I know Cell has got some really cool ones coming up as well. Okay, so thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. You all have a great day. Have a wonderful new year. It's the 1st of January now, so let's hope this new year is a lot better than what it has been the last couple. We can only hope and pray, can't we? Okay, I shall catch you later. Bye bye.